What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Sunless Sea, where we're doing new things today. I enjoy new things. New things are fun. Let's go into a Visage and see what's going on over here. They're like, it's Visage. I would like you to pronounce it properly. We've got a clothing line. We're trying to brand it right now. So if you could just say it nice, Visage, thank you. Visage socks. They're $85 a pair. That's actually our catchphrase for our entire company. I'd be like, you better get with the marketing, guys. I don't think that's going to work out so great. We can interview those who are leaving. This is the port of Visage, where faces may not be naked, except one, a stone monument the size of a village church serenely gazing upwards, flourishing of years. Inward and upward. Let's make a port report. A departing merchant gives you a confused account of crocodiles and honey cakes and something about ear blockages. To this, you add your own impressions about the street layout close to port and the types of commerce here. When the lights are especially bright, it's possible to make out details of a profile of that great stone face. Go into shore. All those who enter must play their parts. The sign is visible only after you've crossed the threshold. One may not wander. Visage's will. Okay, Visage. I don't even know how to say that word. This might get embarrassing. I'm going to say Visage from now on because it's funny. All visitors must pass, one by one, through a room guarded by a person in the mask of a moon moth. Ask about without any mask. Your own fair face will do for you, thanks very much. No, Moonmouth unfolds and folds its wings. Not suitable, it says. On Visage, everyone is masked. To walk on the island with your phone face would give scandal. The significance? Moonmoth explains. Each mask declares a different intention toward the denizens of Visage and must be accompanied by suitable behavior. The frog is for visitors who, though perhaps clumsy and unfamiliar with local etiquette, have come in order to observe local ways and to make uncouth comments about them. The locust is for those who seek profit in Visage and carry away as many goods as possible. You prompt about Bat. Moonmoth hesitates. Bat is an ill-omened visitor, sent as a messenger or spy. Bat always dies. Oh. I don't think I want to do any of these. These all sound like a bad plan. Frog gets to mock people, Locust gets to do a bunch of business, and Bat Mask gets to die. Those all seem super lame. I guess we'll go with Locust. Moonmoth settles the locust mask over your head. The eye holes are covered with a thin gold film through which valuable objects gleam more brightly. May you find a happy harvest, says the Moonmoth. Then, when you have partly turned away, it double knots the ties on its purse as though you're likely to pick its pockets. Doesn't it know you can see it? Wouldn't, if he's going to be giving people masks all day anyways, you'd figure he'd give out more than one locust, so shouldn't he just do that at the beginning of the day to save time? Just seems like an efficiency thing to me. On the lower slopes, stone buildings, flat roofs, and archways. In the architecture there lingers a memory of lotus and palm frond. The hill above is a face, forever looking up at the ceiling of the Untersee. No one inhabits its cheeks or the hollows of its eyes. We can go to the Library of Parts. We can go to we can visit the flood court. We can end our performance and leave the island. And we can't do that until we have expertise in parts. So I suppose we'll go to the Library of Parts because they say we've got to learn our part when we're here. And so I'm assuming a place called the Library of Parts is going to be where we learn what we're supposed to be acting as. If we get there and there's just a whole bunch of fingers and like arms and things laying around, I'm going to be disappointed. A room of heavy stone guarded by a golden statuette of a woman with outstretched arms. The scroll niches sorted to correspond to a variety of masks: the jackal and the lioness, the crocodile and the dung beetle. A woman in the mask of a lotus blossom is standing at the lectern, reading in silence. Ask about the purpose of the room. What sort of parts are they anyways? Moonmoth explains. People thinks it means something like Library of Fragments, but this is wrong. The parts in question are like parts in a play. This is where the denizens of Visage come in order to learn how to perform their masks more accurately, more completely, with a truer spirit. Okay. Well, we could pick the pockets of readers, which sounds like the thing that Lotus would do. You dip your fingers into a crocodile's purse and acquire a few coppers from a heron. The coins here are no more than tiny copper chips, each stamped with an eye sigil. The exchange rate must be thousands of these to the echo, hardly worth taking any home. But you've acted as a locust is meant to act, anyhow. There are no scrolls for locusts in the Library of Parts. So we got 10 fragments and we got an expertise in parts. That's pretty cool. If I go back there, can I do it again? You can pick the pockets, and we need how many to do that? Expertise in parts, no more than 0. We can read over a lotus blossom's shoulder. Got a 50-50 to steal a scroll for later. It's the sort of thing a locust might do. Why not? Gilt-edged scrolls, papyrus bound with emerald green silk bands, poems of the traversal to the realm of the dead. Into your sack they go, leaving the scroll niches bare. Moonmoth does not see what you do. The carapace of your costume hides everything. Hooray! We get to steal stuff in a mascot's outfit. This is the most fun I've ever had in this game. Got 10 more fragments, we got more expertise, and we got the Veils challenge all nice and done. That doesn't seem to have helped out that much more. I mean, I guess we got more fragments for it, I guess, but we've got 2 in our parts. We can actually leave. If we go to the flood court, what's out here? The flood court is a long stone room with 2 ranks of columns on each side. Currently, the court is ankle deep in water, though water stains on the stone show that the flood has often reached higher, sometimes up to the height of your waist. In a raised niche at the far end of the room sits a statue of a man with the head of a ram. He holds a jar from which water flows out. If the jar was full of jam, he'd be, you know, a man with the head of a ram with some jam in a jar really far from where we are. I don't know. Did my Dr. Seuss thing for the day. I'm done. I'm outie. Moonmoth stands to one side as your escort and tour guide. I don't really know. We can gather coin. Apparently people use it as a wishing well. There's nothing else we can do here. Everything else is locked. What's the purpose of the room? From a corner, Moonmoth picks up a graduated stick. He shows you how a person standing at the end of the room may dip the stick into the water and use it to measure the water level at the pre-selected point, and how the measurements are compared with measurements written on a calendar. If the water level does not match the calendrical position, an assembly of pipes and drains is used to adjust it. It used to be, says the moth, that the water rose and fell of its own accord, and the people before wrote down what height it reached. Now the water is still, but thanks to their actions, we could replicate the rise and fall so as still to be pleasing to the god of the flood. He completes his explanation with a half-body bow towards the statue of the ram deity. I guess we can take stuff from the court floor. You wade into the water and begin gathering coins. People watch you from behind their masks, but nobody tries to stop you. After a moment, the other locust masks in the room swarm with you, 4 and 5 and 6 of you together, scraping up the coins from the bottom of the pool, working your way along until everything is gone. It's just how a locust ought to behave. Okay, so we got expertise in parts 3, aware of visitor roles. We're pretty good at it. We can trade masks with Moonmoth, and it says it takes 3 right there. It has been making subtle overtures for some time. You only now understand them, or we can end our performance. I guess we'll end our performance and leave. You say farewell to the Moonmoth. Aw, man. Did it go away? Okay, so we can't go back in, but we did our job as a locust, so I guess do we keep that right there? Where does it list? Do we keep that, like the aware of roles? We do. Okay, so I was worried that fell off when we left and we'd have to redo it each time. That would have bummed me on out. And I don't feel like dealing with any bums today. I don't know. It seems like an ass end of a deal for me. On this side, we've got the Isle of Cats a long way to the west. Well, hell yeah, I'm going to be going out there. I got a kitten on my lap. Let's go to an island that's presumably full of kittens. That would be badass. You'd be like, meow. You'd be like, kittens! And then you grab them and you hold them and you squeeze them and you're like, ah, bestest kittens! I get excited around kittens. I like them very much. Mine is sleeping on my lap right now. He's trying to decide what he wants to do. He gets these weird bursts of energy where, like, he sleeps for a couple hours and then he pings off the walls. But every now and again, he'll lay down to sleep, but something will actually, like, wake him back up, or he'll get, like, a little adrenaline rush or something. Then it's all over. The Isle of Cats. I bet there's not that many cats here. I bet it's just, like, a proverbial name or something like that, a colloquial name. Guess we're about to find out. Port Cavendish, where there are roses. A scatter of yellow-lit honey dens and brightly painted alehouses. To the southeast rises the stone tower of Cavendish Abbey, its ramparts hung with crimson and gold banners. There are sailors from all across the Neath hauling cargo, dicing and brawling good-naturedly on the docks. The air carries the sound of sea-shanties, sung with more enthusiasm than skill, and the smell of roses edged with brimstone. We can go to we can get a piratical welcome, which looks like, welcome to the Isle of Cats, the wide-eyed dockmaster says brightly. Would you like to bribe me not to write down your details in this nice official ledger? He's kind of straightforward about it, isn't he? He doesn't give a damn. I'm going to go ahead and get our port report real fast. You spent half a day observing the docks and note an astonishing number and variety of ships. Was that a Canet trimaran nestled beside a vessel from the Iron Republic? The dockhands complained loudly that they have never been busier. The caddies talk ceaselessly and carelessly about smuggling and piracy, but even the most hardened sailors lower their voices when they mention the king. They go even quieter when they talk about the Rose Garden. You make careful notes. Perhaps the Admiralty will understand what they mean, even if you don't. Let's go ahead and bribe him. You hand over the coins and she tips you a sharp smile before waving you to the nearest alehouse. The entire process is straightforwardly corrupt and pleasingly efficient. Oh, we gained menaces. Cool. I like being a bad guy. We can be a thug. A Sunless Sea thug. Rubbing on your rug. Squishing all your bugs, giving you a hug. The alehouse's sign is a tiger painted the color of rose petals. Someone has gone to great trouble and expense to gild the creature's eyes. They look out over the port, feral and unseeing. A caged hive of lamplighter bees hang from the ceiling like a chandelier. A few sailors give you hard-mouthed, assessing looks, but most ignore your presence entirely. That's because we're bad at giving presents. Significant tokens. The caddies all wear a pair of amber stones threaded around their necks, pinned to their collars. Cat's eyes, one of them says, for the Pirate King. As far as you can gather, the Pirate King's name is Leopold, and he controls all the trade on the island. Half the caddies believe that he can take the form of a crimson tiger and creep into their dreams. The other half suspect more prosaically that he simply eats those who displease him. That would suck. You turn your head as though you're admiring one of the moldering draperies hung from the wall. A vial flashes in the buyer's trembling hands. He uncorks it, pours a few drops of thick red liquid down his throat, then the vial drops to the floor. When you look back up, he's gone. You blink and look around. Nobody else seems the least bit perturbed that a man disappeared from their midst. You pick up the fallen vial and examine the traces left inside. Sticky honey, gleaming with redness entirely unlike blood. A mellifluous sister, of course, she responds, performing a complicated negotiation between veil, thick glove, and glass of mushroom wine. You ask what one of those is, and she snorts, I'm glaring at you underneath this bloomin' veil. You act appropriately cowed, and the mellifluous sister thaws a little. We're beekeepers and honey harvesters. The caddies owe their prosperity to us and the Pirate King, too. She slurps the last of the mushroom wine behind her veil, and the barkeep glides over to refill her glass, eyes respectfully downcast. Guess we can leave. The barkeep stops you before you reach the door and hands you a brooch set with 2 amber stones. He waits impassively until you pin it to your clothes. Everyone wears the cat's eyes here, he tells you, moving aside to let you pass. Just a friendly reminder that the Pirate King is watching. It seems that no place, then, is truly lawless. So we can go to the Honey Tongue. We can go to Cavendish Abbey. We can sell sunlight if we had a mirror catch box that was full of it. And I think that's actually worth quite a bit, as I recall. We can buy a shipment of honey, which we could attempt to smuggle, but we don't have a key to the cage gardens. Let's go to the Honey Tongue, I guess. It is both brothel and honey den, run by someone the caddies refer to as the King's Claw. Entering the brothel is like sliding into the dream of a surface orientalist. Jewel-embroidered cushions, bright silk drapes, gilded statues of elephants, sun bears, and clouded leopards. Silver censers release curling plumes of rose-scented smoke into the air. The courtesans are red-lipped and coal-smudged. When you catch their eyes, they smile back at you with professional interest. Your actions will attract the Pirate King's notice. You need 5 Pirate King's notice to gain an offer from the patron. A Z-captain is weeping gently into a courtesan's bosom, muttering of her lost crew and rose gardens. We can swap tails with a honey smuggler. Well, we have 6 of those. What is red honey? I know what normal prisoner's honey is, but what's red honey? One of the nearby courtesan's eyebrows lift infinitesimally, but his reply is practice. When lamplighter bees suck the nectar of the crimson strain of the exile's rose, they are driven to madness. They enter the brains of humans and harvest their memories. He shudders as though imagining the process himself. Those memories are instilled in red honey. Each sip is a burst of memory on the tongue. Deliciously awful, isn't it? He flutters his dyed feather fan. Okay, so it's a little bit different than normal honey. The normal prisoner's honey just gets you high as a kite and makes you, like, dream or something like that. These ones appear to impart memories upon you as well. I guess we'll comfort a captain first. They're all tending the gardens now, she wails and begins to weep again. My poor crew. You wait for a hitch in the sobs and inquire further. It's a slow, delicate business drawing answers out of her, but you're nothing if not perseverant. It seems her crew was conscripted by the lady of the gardens, that her duties are something far worse than horticulture. You leave her reciting the names of her lost sailors and commending them to Salt's mercy. So we gained 1 Isle of Cats Pirate King's notice, passing awareness, then notice, really. Okay, let's go ahead and swap tails with the honey smuggler and see what happens. We lost 5? Really? You touch your cat's eye brooch and the Z-Captain chortles. The Pirate King is watching you. Indeed he is, though not many see him these days. The people you want to watch out for are the King's Claw and the Lady of the Gardens. The Claw makes sure everyone keeps in line on the island, and the Lady, well, she's the keeper of the cage gardens, where they extract the, Now, he seems to remember himself. All of a sudden, he blanches. Forget what I said, will you, Captain? Wait, so for 5, we didn't get anything out of that? Huh. Okay, that's kind of a brutal exchange. So you can just, like, repeat that? Oh, you lose fragments on that one. I thought that I was getting fragments. Okay. That's fine. Lose fragments. I don't even really care. We now have the Pirate King's notice, which is pretty cool. The claw keeps us sweet in a maze of corridors above the brothel. I guess we'll go talk to the claw. The King's Claw tells you to call him Isari. They are dressed in azure silk and wearing clawed rings of enameled metal and ivory on the fingers of their right hand. They are very beautiful, if you like them sharp and glittering and ambiguously gendered. You have caught the interest of the Pirate King, and therefore my interest as well, they say, fixing you with amber-eyed gazes. You seem capable enough, and I have need of a capable friend. You can refuse Isari. You can never have too many friends in the Neath. Yeah, let's go for it. Wonderful, utterly delightful. Isari is all smiles and genial bonhomie. Bonhomie? I don't know how to say that. I shall start thinking of a task fit for your talent, something special. They wave a jeweled hand. Run along there, good captain. And so now we've taken Isari's patronage. Something bad's gonna happen. Are there any shops? They got provisioners. Provisioners that sell reasonably cheap, actually. It's not that bad compared to everywhere else. I mean, you take what you get. We can speak to the ferret. Play, the roll eye says. Play. I played once in the Happy Warrens of London before you installed me in this floating coffin and made me eat dried food. Damn your play. It is an eloquent eye roll. Can we talk to the cat? What does the cat do? Hold on, let me go back to my hold for my officers. I want to talk to the cat. We can't talk to the cat? Well, fine then. Apparently the mascot was the only one we could talk to. In Port Cavendish, we can now go to the Abbey. We can do a couple of things here. I think we'll probably set sail, though, for right now. If we go to Isari's office, we get a request. Something awaits you. Okay, so we can't have something awaits us right now. We have to go back and get that taken care of. It's because we've been at sea for too long. There we go. My game was paused. I was like, what's going on here? I'm so confused. My game was paused. I thought it froze for a minute. I was like, what's going on here? This is weird. We need to go by Port Cecil again, too, because I wanted to make sure that every single time we're in the region, we gather Scintillac for the venture capitalist, because if we can complete that quest, we'll make a whole bunch of cash off of it. That should allow us to move towards the Corvette, which is our current goal, if you remember. I wanted to upgrade our ship, because the one we have right now is not suitable for combat. It'll have an extra gun if we have the Corvette. That's the best part, is that we can double fire. And then with the blue Scintillac, we can quadruple fire, which means that we could do upwards of like 80 damage in one burst, which means that we don't have to worry quite as much about pirates anymore if we can get to like a very advantageous position. We just like bap, 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 bap. You can take out just about anybody with that, presuming they don't have aft guns. Let's go back to Port Cecil. We're going to have to cut to the north in order to get the Blind Bruiser's charge. We don't have a ton of fuel right now, so I think it's going to be a little bit close, but having hit that, if we can go all the way back to London after going up to Khan's Shadow, I think we'll be ready to ride. Into Port Cecil we go. Our terror is getting a little bit high. It's almost above 50 right now, which is disappointing, but oh well, what can you do? Into Port Cecil. We can play chess, a very modest challenge. Let's go for it. Odd thoughts bubble up each time you touch a chess piece. This one longs for home. That one is a secret dive. Okay, so we won. So we got another pages too. So now we're up to 26. We got 100 fragments to make up for the ones we traded in to get the prince's attention. We can't take the tough challenge just yet. We'll get the intelligence. And we need to gather Scintillac. We don't have much of a chance to do it, but we'll give it a go. We gain 10 terror. Oh, we succeeded. Cool. Where the Z washes across the coral's edge, it glows a rich purple. Each time it washes across your boots, you expect it to leave stains. You edge along the slippery coral, picking up lumps of brighter glowing stuff here and there. And though the Z doesn't stain, eventually it begins to whisper to you, phrases so clear that you catch yourself looking over your shoulder in case your crew has spoke. They've not. They're looking around just as you are. Between stars, the Z says. Descend from the chain. When it runs out across the coral, it sounds almost like a soft chuckle. I rest here, it tells you. I forget. You guys like whispering? Is this going to be one of those like ASMR LPs? People talking all stuff. All right, now we're going to go off to this side right here. With lots of weird mouth sounds because they put up the gain super high. All those videos, they got to get their microphone work on. I've seen very few ASMR channels that actually like know how to calibrate their mic properly. There's a couple and they're the bigger ones. But a lot of them just like boost up the gain just like ridiculous absurd levels. And I'd be like, you probably don't want to do that. It's a great way to burn out what you're capturing here. We need to go to Khan's Shadow, otherwise we're going to get shivved the next time we go to London. Let's go all the way on up. Past Dow's Ite. What the hell is an Ite? It's a word that I'm not familiar with. It's small but fancy. I like it. Small but fancy. Like a fancy lady's ring. Like the gentry's pinky ring. Small but fancy. With 7 fuel left, we may... we're pretty far out. We'll have to give it a go and see what happens here. 7 fuel should get us back to London, no problem. I can't promise it, but I can hope for it. I like their music, too. Their music's got like a jam session going on. Bung-a-bung, bung, 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 icky, icky, bung, bung, bung. Alright, let's get our intelligence real fast. Where was I supposed to get this from? Hold on. The Blind Bruiser's request. It's here somewhere. Collecting cargo for the cheery man. Khan's heart. Oh. Okay, so Khan's heart is up and in here. Truth and dreams. Neath the cavern holds the Untersee. I don't think you have to answer this right now, but we can listen to it. We gained 5 terror and some fragments. That's bad. That's definitely not good. I may have to burn some fuel in here. We may have to stop off to get ourselves extra supplies, too. The Ogadai Bridge. Let's see if we can go off to this side. And if we can just, like, stop that from doing bad things to our terror, I would appreciate it. Is Khan's heart up or down? Okay, so it's right there. Just trying to make proper use of the fuel that we have on board. So Khan's heart, I assume, will have a dock up here somewhere. I don't see anything. Maybe we go to the Copper Quarter. Maybe this is the name of the entire thing, and then these are like the smaller little areas. Either way, we have to do this. It's going to be all bad if we don't get this done. Like, you die instantly when you go back to London. Don't do it. It's a bad plan. It's not going to work out well for you. And so we were supposed to collect... There we go, the cheery man's cargo. You meet a blue priest in a tiny noodle shop by the moon canal. Fizzing electric light shows the weary lines in his face. You have my money? Oh, that's right. I think that money was a deposit. Okay, so that's bad. Let's go ahead and we'll take the cargo. I'm so glad that I didn't overspend. Alright, and so going back this way, for some reason I thought that was our payment, not a deposit. Well, that's disappointing. Now we're really, really broke. If we play this carefully, we should be able to make it back to London without any further issues, though. Let's head west. It's our only hope for right now. Alright, back around we go. I'm going to break the episode off right here. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me at the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Fallen London. The voyage on back to London is probably going to be uneventful, so I'm just going to go for it. We'll probably be back in London by the end of this. I will see you all there. Hi to everybody. See you on the flippity flop.